Hello everyone, I'm Valerio, and I welcome you to the second short episode of the Milk Cookies segfaults screencasting series. This time, I will quickly go over the Snippets feature of the Sublime Text editor. The main idea behind the Snippets concept is having certain pieces of code which are frequently used, or for some reason I want to avoid having to type by hand, ready-made available at all times for me to insert and use in any way I want inside my source files. So in some sense is a super copy-paste function. You should know that this feature is available in many IDEs and editors, either out of the box like in Sublime Text or via some plugin. I know, for example, PHP Storm has it, gedit, Eclipse, and many others. However, since Sublime Text is my editor of choice, I'll be using it to demonstrate this very useful and interesting feature. So let's just jump into it. Let's say I'm working with JavaScript and I have to log various things, so I use this quite a lot. But I want to avoid having to type this every time I want to log something to the console. So I'll delete it, and in order to optimize it, I'll create a snippet for it. Go to Tools, New Snippet. This is a snippet skeleton file, and the text I want to put in my snippet should go in the CData section. So write console log here. Configure the tab trigger. My snippet gets expanded based on an identifier which I define here. For my console log, I'll just say log. So I'll write this identifier in my source code, press tab, and this identifier will be expanded to the full snippet. The second option provides me the opportunity to restrict this snippet to certain types of files. For example, Python files or Java files or JavaScript files. Let's just stick to JavaScript for now because console log is a JavaScript specific thing. I could comment it and it would work everywhere, but it's not the case now. Save it. And this is a path inside the Sublime Text configuration folders, so I'll save it under the name log.sublime-snippet. Enter. Sublime Text now knows about it. Go to the JavaScript context, write log, which is my identifier, the tab trigger, press tab, and here's my snippet. Very nice. Let's go forward. Let's say I have to write a function, a documentation, some description. Of course, this is oversimplified, but it should get a point across. My function, some arguments, and the function body. Now, this is quite a bit of boilerplate code, and again, it's oversimplified, so it could be a lot more. But either way, I could optimize this via a snippet. Let's copy this, actually cut it. Tools, New Snippet, and place the code in the CData section. Configure the tab trigger of func. Also restrict this to JavaScript files. And here's where things get interesting, because now I'm going to use another feature of the snippet functionality called fields, dynamic fields. So what I want to do is, when I insert this, when I expand the snippet in my code, I want to be able to edit the function name, the function arguments, the description, and also at the end have my cursor inside the function to be able to continue writing my code thereon. Okay, so how do I do this? I do this with the syntax, the $, and the number of the field. All the fields are numbered because I can navigate among them once the snippet gets expanded with the tab key. So the first field is my function name, the second field is the function argument, the third field should be my function description, and the last field, the place where my cursor should be left at the end of the snippet expansion and editing, is the 0 field. So 0 is special because it's actually the exit point for the snippet navigation. I save this, snippet under the name func.sublime-snippet, enter. And when I go into the JavaScript context, I say func tab, and here's my snippet expanded, and now I begin editing it, editing the fields I defined. The first field is a function name. I say func name, right? Press tab, and the cursor goes to the second field place. I can go backwards. I can press shift tab, and it goes back to the previous field. Let's just go forward. I say let's just say I have an argument called name. Press tab again, go to the description, and now press tab again. I go to the exit point. This is the 0 exit point, and right now the snippet expansion and editing is ended. Right now I can go on and write the rest of my code. Now another interesting thing here is that I can complete this code by replicating certain fields. Let's say that for this function I want to add in the description, in the comment, in the documentation comment, I want to add a javadoc keyword of function with the function name. Save, and when I expand this, func tab, enter the function name, it gets replicated everywhere I put that field. Press tab, name, and so on. The same thing, right? Good. Now, another thing is that all these fields can have default values. For example, the field name, the function name, can have a default value of my function name. The arguments can have a default value of a simple name, and let's just keep it at that. Of course, these are optional. Save it, and now func tab, and here they are. The same thing, only field number 1 and field number 2 have default values. I can say here something like that, and then describe. And then go and say whatever I need to do and write the rest of my code. Very nice. Now we've seen quite a few things you can do with the snippet feature, and I think you can imagine that you can take this as far as you want. You can write snippets as simple and trivial as if then else constructs to full class specifications. And for that matter, we can have something like, let's create a new field, a new snippet, sorry, and let's say we want to create a simple class skeleton for a team of workers to use and to base all their new classes upon. Let's say I have a description, the class description will come next soon to that. The function name, the class name, this is JavaScript by the way, so I'm defining a class name. This is the constructor. At the end I want to be left in the body of this constructor. Let's define some methods. The second field should be the description of this class. Let's have some default value here to better represent this field. Say that. Let's also have some javadoc keywords, class and the class name, and the constructor keyword to signify that this is a regular class. Let's say I have a method class name prototype in it, and that's it. and another method. Of course, this is again oversimplified, but it shows what you can do with this. Let's define a type trigger of class. Also, this should only work for JavaScript files. Save it as class.sublime-snippet, and then go to our JavaScript sandbox, write the type trigger, press tab, and here you go. Our class should be called, let's say, controller. Describe it, and then end up in my constructor body ready to continue. So you should explore this and try to make it work for you. It will definitely be useful, you'll see. And at the end, I'd like to show you another very useful and interesting feature available through a Sublime Text plugin called Gist. As you know, the GitHub accounts support and provide the Gist section, and this section allows the definition and sharing of pieces of code, reusable pieces of code or interesting pieces of code, whatever you want, and you can, using this Sublime Text plugin called, just as the site is named, Gist, you can connect this account straight into your editor instance. I have it already installed. You can install it yourself. It's not that complicated. Then after you installed it, go to Preferences, Package Settings, Gist, and check the default settings to see what options are available. Only the username and password are mandatory, the rest is optional. Then go into Preferences, Package Settings, Gist, and define your own user settings. Once you do that, the entire list of snippets defined in your Gist account, in your GitHub account, will be made available in your editor instance. And how do I do that? Control K, open bracket, and I have here the entire list, which is not so big in my case, of Gists available in my account. Let's choose the second one. Sublime gets it from the site and inserts it in my code wherever I was with my cursor. Again, a very useful feature. You can actually define new Gists here. They will be posted on your account, so you can share them, you can edit them, you can insert them in your code whenever you want. You have them available online. Very nice, very interesting, and very productive. I encourage you to explore these two options, the Snippets feature and also the Gist support. In the end, I'd like to tell you that this snippet concept is not restricted to code. You can have any kind of text benefit from this feature, like licensing terms or lorem ipsum fillings and all that, copyright texts, anything you can imagine. And also, you shouldn't rush to create very many snippets, since you may think you will need them. Instead, just create snippets one at a time by identifying, while writing code, the portions of code that you are constantly having to rewrite or retype. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule. For example, you may define files, skeleton files, class abstractions, and all kinds of codes that may assist, for example, your co-workers if you have teams of developers. So these snippets can assist your co-workers have unified and uniform code bases. So in that case, you should define a set of snippets, and your team or company could make use of that and have a solid and uniform code throughout your project. But otherwise, you should refrain yourself from creating too many snippets by assuming that you'll need them. So try to use this. It will definitely become useful in time. This is it for this episode. Thank you for your attention and enjoy.